we're going to read a book of the Worried website. Writes Worried. So would I, said Mr. Speed, laughing, but I don't think she'll be quite as bored as all that. So you think she's maybe sit next to this boy on the school trip? You bet. He should just ask her, said Mr. Speed. So I did. I couldn't quite get up to college until we were all set to go, and Mr. Speed was taking the risk through, that I very gently knocked Holly with my shoes. She turned round, sighed elaborately, and started undoing one of my new lace. Don't, Holly, please. My mom will go spare. I had to knit this lace out of our Sarah Jane's Irish dancing shoes. Well, quite kicking me, Dan, Holly hisses. I'm not kicking, I'm interesting your attention. Oh, yeah, said Holly. She looked straight into my eyes. Why? I went red and shortly and yucky, but I looked straight back at her and said, will you sit next to me on the couch? Okay, said Holly, like it was no big deal at all. Then she grinned. I felt I was shooting straight through the classroom, sailing up into the bright blue sky. Then Mr. Speed told us to line up for a couch. Everyone started forward, out of the classroom, along the corridor, out of the door, across the playground, out of the gate, to where the school coach was waiting. But I hung back with Holly, grinning and grinning at her, and she grinned back. Mr. Speed was holding everyone onto the couch. He called to us to hurry up. Then he caught hold of me. Here's your chance, boy, he said, and he properly moved me forwards up the big steps and onto the front seat next to Samantha. Hi, Greg, she said, smiling at me. I've saved this seat for you. I stared at her in our horror. But I'm sitting next to Samantha, commanded Mr. Speed. He seized me by the shoulders and sat me down on the front seat beside her. Don't be bashful, lad, he whispered in my ear. Take this golden opportunity. But Mr. Speed, you've got it all wrong, I wailed. I don't like Samantha. Mr. Speed was hurrying up and down the couch, Alice checking on purses and packing lunches and seat bags, and didn't even hear me. But Samantha did. She looked amazed and pleased. Her blue eyes were all ready. I felt horrible. I don't mean I don't like you, Samantha. Of course I do. You're ever so nice, but it's just this other girl I like better. I seem to be making it worse. Well, I don't like you, she said. Get off this set. I wouldn't sit next to you if you went down on your knees and begged it. Fat chance, I said. I jumped up. But Mr. Speed rushed past and gave me a showdown again. Up and down, like a jack in a box, he said, Sit still, Greg. But I don't want to sing next to Samantha, Mr. Speed. He's intently not sitting next to me. Mr. Speed stopped, hands on his hips. He breathed in deeply. This is generally a warning signal. Well, I was under the impression I was his teacher and you were the purpose. But I have certainly got that entirely wrong, because here you are giving me the order, he patted on Miss Lee. Are you the teacher here, Gregory? No, Mr. Speed. What about you, Samantha? No, Mr. Speed. Then my goodness, I must be the teacher, and I say sit down in your seat and do not utter another word, or I will sit on you myself. I didn't utter a word to Samantha, and she didn't utter a word to me for the entire journey. You weren't speaking terms. I tried kneeling on my seat to see Holly. I tried to attract Holly's attention. I failed. I attracted Mr. Speed's attention instead. This was a big mistake. He made me stick with him all the way around the museum, while all the others were allowed to ramble around in little groups having fun. I called after Holly, but she stared straight past me as if she couldn't even see me. You're an especially engraving boy, Gregory, said Mr. Speed. Why do you have to be so fickle with your affections? First you declare undying love for Samantha, and yet when I gave you the opportunity to sit next to her, you behaved totally observantly and transferred your attention to Holly. I mumbled dismally. That sounds ungrammatical but heartfelt, said Mr. Speed, peering at me. Explain yourself, lad. It was Holly all the time, Mr. Speed. You got it all wrong. I got it all wrong, did I? Said Mr. Speed. I wondered if I was in for another lecture, but he was shaking his head. Sorry, lad, I observably jumped to the wrong conclusions. The old Benedict glasses went all smelly on me. I'm better not try to play Cupid again. But he did. After we trailed all round the museum, we went into a special room where the lady got off out this big trunk of Victorian clothes, and we all have to dress up and look daft. Mr. Speed put on a top hat and a funny fleece mustaches, and then underneath it a pair of bottom boots from the bottom of the trunk. I know the lad who's into fancy footwear, he said. Here, Greg, put them on. They were nearly the right size, but I couldn't get that bottom up at all. They were far too fiddly. You need a button hook, said the museum lady, producing this weird metal pointy thing with a bone handle. Let's pop this move cap and penny on you, Holly. You can be young Master Gregory's nursery maid, said Mr. Speed. Bottom the lead into his boots, little girl. Certainly, Mr. Speed, said Holly. She seized the button hook as if it was a simple instruction. I didn't like the look of her grin at all now. Keep still now, she said as she went proof. And I went, ow, ow, ow. Don't be silly, baby, Mr. Gregory, said Holly. Oh, cut it out, Holly. You're prodding right into my legs, I persisted. Good, said Holly under her breath. Why did you go and sit next to that stupid Samantha? I didn't want to. It was all Mr. Speed's fault. He made me. You know what he's like. I know what you're like, said Holly. I swallowed. I took a deep, very deep breath. I went all red and swirly and yuckity, yucky, yucky. But do you know who I like? I said. Holly looked at me, twirling the bottom hook. Then she grinned. I grinned back. Guess who I got to sit next to on couch going home? And guess who is now my girlfriend? Holly. Thank you.